Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's episode we're going to be revisiting the Nickelodeon Netbook that we explored earlier this year in this video. Basically, if you missed that one, this is a Dell netbook that has been modified with some Nickelodeon flair. We've got the slime here on the outside, we've got the slime here on the palm rest, and that's really all it is in terms of visual changes hardware-wise. But there is a lot of cool software that comes pre-installed on this thing, and well, you can check out that video if you want to learn more about it. But on that video, I got a few comments from you guys saying that, you know, these things can actually run macOS 10.6, these Dell Mini 10Vs, which is the netbook that this is based off of. And so that got me thinking, why don't we try that out? Why don't we try to turn this thing into a Hackintosh? And I thought to spice things up a little bit that we'd use one of those custom Hackintosh distros that were around in the late 2000s. So I went ahead and burned a copy of IATKOS S3 version 2 to this DVD right here. And we're going to try and install it on this computer using this external DVD drive, because of course this thing doesn't have a DVD drive built in because it's a netbook. I'm sure you figured that out. And hopefully, this whole process will be just as easy as checking out today's video sponsor, Linode, cloud computing from Akamai, who I'll be talking more about later on. But for now, let's go ahead and get all this set up and get on with it. Alright, so I figured we'd boot into Windows XP here just before we get everything going. And yeah, I kind of forgot about some of the bloatware we have on here. We got this ARO 2011 like registry cleaner program that says you gotta buy this software to fix 597 registry errors. Like, oh no, man, what are we gonna do? Well, we're just going to overwrite the Windows XP installation. That'll fix everything, right? So yeah, we're going to get rid of all of that. Though that was not installed from the factory. That was just something that the previous owner put on here. So we're going to get our disk drive, and I'm going to pop in the DVD. And I believe we have to hit F12. Yep, it looks like we do. Okay, and we'll jump down to CD/DVD. Yeah, there we go. Okay, press any key. All right. All right, it looks like our boot screen has been modified with a different Apple logo, and I think a slightly different shade of gray in the background. So yeah, we're off to a great start so far. Let's hope it can stay that way. Alright, so we've got a familiar language selection screen for anyone who's installed macOS 10.5 or 10.6, obviously. And yeah, we do have a different wallpaper in the background. These custom distros typically did that. We also saw that with iDenib, which was the distribution I used in the HP video, or the video with the HP laptop. You know, it's funny because I actually specifically remember this distro. I think I actually used it back in 2009 or something. I believe I had a virtual machine that I installed it in, or maybe it wasn't this specifically, but I know I had macOS 10 running in a virtual machine on my Windows computer because I didn't have a Mac at the time. And right here we've got a super large window that's like taking up the entire screen with the exception of the menu bar up here. So we're gonna hit on continue, and this is 10.6.3. So it's dated June 2010. Read me please. Okay, welcome to the welcome to the IATKOS S3 installation. This is the second version of the S3. The Oscar goes to Apple and the OS 1086 community. So these are all the like thank you notes and everything to all the people who helped on this. And yeah, it says right here, DVD is designed for non-Apple x86 Intel CPU computers. So you need a compatible motherboard, obviously. I believe we have, how much RAM do we have in this, by the way? We've got 1 gig of RAM, so it needs half of that, so we're good there. We've got plenty of hard disk space, though it looks like it does recommend 1 gig of RAM. So yeah, we'll see how well this runs. I mean, people in the comments mentioned that, you know, it works. I don't know how well that it's going to work performance-wise, but we'll see. So we're going to definitely do a clean installation. In fact, let me just go up to disk utility right now. Before we get to the drive selection screen. We have a 160 gigabyte hard drive in here. We're just going to erase that, and we'll format it with macOS Extended Journaled, and we'll call this Hackintosh HD. And let's hit install. Actually, I want to hit on customize. There's something I failed to do in the HP Hackintosh video. Yeah, this is where we get options for patches and drivers and stuff that we definitely want to make sure that we select in here. So VGA, this has an Intel Graphics Media Accelerator 950, so we're going to go down here and Graphics Media Accelerator 950, there it is. So we'll grab that, and oh, there's two of them in here. Looks like 2 different builds. I wonder what happens if we just get both of them. 27A2 and 27AE. They're both 32-bit. But you know what? We're just going to grab both of them. So yeah, you want to make sure you hit that. And then, now we can hit install. And hopefully, it'll just work out. This has been pretty seamless so far. So yeah, let's hope it stays that way. And would you look at that? Here we go. It's installed successfully. At least it seems that way. We'll see if it actually is able to boot into the operating system. And I'm curious if all of the drivers that I selected are going to work. The first thing is the sound driver, because we're going to hear that, you know, when it plays the intro video, assuming it does go through that process, which I would imagine it would. But yeah, there was only one sound driver to select, I think, so I hope that that the default one it has in here works. But yeah, I did select the display adapter, I selected the wireless adapter, and the wired Ethernet adapter that this computer has. And so hopefully all those things will be able to work, and you know, maybe if the wireless adapter doesn't work, we can use the wired adapter to get online. But I will say it has been on this screen for a little while, and booting up from the disk took a long time. It took probably like 10 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating there. It took a decent amount of time. Of course, it was booting off of the CD. The hard drive should be faster. Though it looks like the Apple logo went away. So let's see if it's going to load the iconic intro video that I will have to mute if the sound actually works. So you guys won't know if the sound works or not. Oh, wait a second. Listen to that. What? Okay, I don't know if I can have this audio play through here. It might be in the Content ID system, but it's right now playing a cover of Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. I don't know who the cover is by, but nothing's showing up on the screen other than just the, you know, this gray screen, like, you know, the Apple logo went away, but we still have this. So, I don't really know what, I mean, at least the sound driver works, we know that. But yeah, I really don't know what's going on. I'm assuming it loaded the setup process, maybe, and this is what's replacing the intro video. Maybe we just have to wait for the song to finish or something. I mean, yeah, I literally cannot stop this, and I can't even turn the volume down. Although, wait a second. No, I cannot turn the volume down. The control on the keyboard is not working, so we're just stuck here, forced to listen to Staying Alive, this cover of Staying Alive. Okay, I think it's fading out. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me try Command Q. My guess is there's some sort of issue with the display driver. Maybe did I select the wrong one? I mean, I picked the one that corresponded to the... Maybe we have to go through and reinstall this again. But let's just try. I mean, evidently we're not getting anywhere. I can't hit, you know, anything on the keyboard. Nothing is... Although... I wonder if maybe the USB, because I do have a USB keyboard plugged into this, maybe that driver... Oh, yeah. I just noticed that on the mouse here, the laser is not on. So, yeah, it's not... The USB keyboard is not working because I've got the mouse plugged into the keyboard. So, let's try hitting Command Q, or what would have been Command Q on the laptop. No, that's not doing anything. I can't hit Escape or Enter or anything to get this to go away. So let's just try to do a force restart here. Oh my gosh, it's doing the same thing again. No, I don't want to stop. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna go through the setup process again and modify those customization settings. And I'm currently, my current theory is it's a display driver problem, but I could be completely wrong. But let's find out, or I'm going to find out and come back to you and let you find out what I know, or what I find out. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Whatever. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so good and bad news. The good news is I fixed the display problem. It was an issue with the driver that I had selected, because I had two selected, because there were two drivers for the Intel integrated graphics that we have in this thing. So I only have one driver selected now, and you can see that we now, you know, get a display output. after the boot screen. The bad news is, and what's kind of strange, is it says there isn't a keyboard connected to the computer. Now, I've got a USB keyboard and mouse plugged in, and they're not working, so evidently the USB driver hasn't been loaded properly. But what's odd is I can modify the brightness by using the keyboard here. Okay, well, now apparently I can't. I was able to before. Luckily, I was recording, so I can show you that footage. So, yeah. That was working, now it's not, but, you know, I can't use this keyboard at all. I can't move the trackpad, like move my finger on the trackpad. It doesn't move the cursor around. I also can't adjust the frickin' volume, and this song is still playing in the background. Yeah, I have restarted multiple times, and we just get the same thing. So this isn't anything that can be fixed by a restart. So we're gonna have to go through the installation process again, and maybe try to modify some other settings. I think there was something about a USB driver, but I checked that. So I don't know. We're just gonna restart and boot up from the disk again. All right. After a few minutes of waiting for the boot up process to finish, we're here again on the installation screen, which is like what, the second time that you guys are seeing this, but like the third or fourth time that I'm seeing it. Well, it is an MJD video after all. Something has to go wrong, and in this case, well, I hope it's something that we're able to fix. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm thinking of just using that same iDeneb CD that we used in the Hackintosh video with the HP laptop. But you know, we already took a look at that distro. I kind of wanted to explore this other one and kind of see how it differs from regular Mac OS X, which so far, especially with the music that you have during the like user account creation process and all that, is it's pretty wild to see. I'm scrolling through this document here, and I'm down here at the simple troubleshooting guide, and there's nothing about it not detecting USB devices or the keyboard and mouse. It's got waiting for root device, CPU errors, blue or black screen during HDD boot. Nothing that really pertains to us, unfortunately. But one thing I do want to show you, I will have put a text blurb up on screen during the first run through of setup, but there is this hardware info app that you can get to from utilities, which shows you the hardware you've got installed so that you can take a note of this, and then when you click that customize button, on the drive selection screen, you can make sure you get the right drivers and everything. So yeah, we can just close out of this. It's also pretty funny because this app it's super basic, and they haven't even changed like some of the placeholder. Like it says window up here, it says button down here. This button doesn't actually do anything. And when you close out of it, it doesn't automatically quit the application. You have to go up here and click on quit new application. Let's actually go to about. I'm curious if they changed this. Hardware info version 0.1. Okay, copyright 2007. So, yeah, we'll get out of that. And, oh, wait, we got to go into disk utility. Hang on a second, I'm getting ahead of myself. And we're erasing, and it's remounting, and we're done. Look at that. And now we'll select this. We'll go to customize. I believe I had this USB patch selected last time. So these are all the default settings, by the way, what it's got already selected in here, but I'm going to select USB. I don't think I had this laptop hardware thing checked under drivers, so I'm going to make sure to get that. Under VGA here, we got to go down here to Intel GMA 950, and this was the one that I got that worked, so we'll grab that. But okay, I think that we're good. Let's just hit OK and hit install. So we're gonna let it do its thing. It is gonna take about 19 minutes, and probably a little more than that actually, and I'll be back with you guys, hopefully looking at the setup assistant again, where we can actually move the mouse around and type on the keyboard. Oh my gosh, a kernel panic? Who could have ever predicted that? Yeah, the installation finished, and yeah, it just kernel panicked trying to boot up, so we're gonna have to do a forced restart, and so we might have just created more problems for ourselves. Well, after a lengthy boot process, we got nothing. The same exact kernel panic, which, just lovely. So, you know what? We're just going to get rid of this disk for now, because I think this is just frickin' cursed, at least on this computer. And we're going to do something that I probably should have done from the very beginning, and just using a regular Mac OS 10.6 retail CD and modify it with some software to get it to install on here. And to do that, I need to grab one of my old Macs. And speaking of old Macs, Linode doesn't have any of that. But what they do have are a wide offering of cloud computing services that give you the tools you need to scale and deploy applications of all shapes and sizes. Whether you want to host a game server or a content management system, their Linux-based virtual machines come equipped with enterprise-level capabilities and predictable no lock-in pricing beginning at just $5 per month. And with the wide selection of apps available in their marketplace, you won't need to spend days on end getting everything set up. Linode was acquired by Akamai a while ago, and they're already expanding their global network of data centers to accommodate more customers in more places. And you can test drive all of it just by heading over to linode.com/michaelmjd and signing up for an account. And as a thank you for watching this video, you'll receive a $100 free credit that you can spend on any of their cloud computing services for 60 days. So be sure to check them out, and huge thanks again to Linode for making this episode possible. Alright, so just to give you a little rundown of what I'm doing here, I actually found this old tutorial from Gizmodo, which details how to get Snow Leopard running on a Dell Mini 10V, which is again what this laptop is based on. And so what you do is I've just copied over, or rather restored, this USB flash drive I've got plugged into the MacBook from a Snow Leopard install disk image. There it is. Now, of course, it's not going to let us run the application here because we're on a newer version of OS X, but we don't have to do that because we need to use this program called Netbook Installer, which is this super old program. It's actually hosted over here on Google Code Archive. And so I just got the latest version here from November 24th, 2010. And evidently all we have to do is run it, and we select Mac OS X install DVD create booter, and then prepare drive, and then type in our password. And I guess that's it. Installation complete. Alright, so we'll hit continue. And so now we should just be able to plug this drive into... Whoops, I don't want to do that. We should be able to plug this drive back into the NIC netbook. Alright, the drive's going in, and we're powering it on. And there's USB storage. It's not looking good so far. Okay, I restarted and booted into the BIOS here to check the BIOS version, which is A06. Now, the article was originally written to say that you had to downgrade the BIOS version to get this to work, but then it was updated and said that this version of the BIOS works fine with the latest version of NetBoot Maker. Now, I'm guessing at some point NetBoot Maker's name was changed to Netbook Installer because that's the application that I got, but there is an older version that's named NetBoot Maker, so we could try that. You know, if this doesn't work. Let's go down to USB storage. I would think it would be doing something. Alright, it's been sitting here for a little while and nothing's happening. So, yeah, let's just turn this back off. Well, 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 would you look at this? We actually got it to boot! And what I had to do off camera is install macOS X Snow Leopard on my mid-2009 MacBook Pro here and create the bootable USB from that, you know, using that version of disk utility and then running the program that I mentioned in the last clip. So yeah, it wasn't working before on a more modern version of OS X. It worked on this version. Sometimes it's just best not to question things. It could be a multitude of things. It could be the application, you know, that was written for 10.6, that netbook boot application. Might just have not worked properly on El Capitan, which is what I was running on the MacBook. I'm still running it on, it's just on a different partition. But anyways, so we're going to click on English, and yeah, the resolution here is definitely pretty low because this this window is normally not, you know, from top to bottom. It's usually like in the center of the screen. But we already have, let's just go into, speaking of disk utility, let's go into disk utility here, and let me just make sure this drive is formatted. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to format it because we still have the non-working install of IATKOS on here. What the? Oh, it's showing all of. I guess these are all the other. Wait, what is this? So we have disk 8 through 13 here. We don't have anything else plugged into here. I'm guessing this is probably something to do with that extra partition it created on here to get this working on a non-Apple machine. But here's Hackintosh HD. We're just going to erase this. macOS Extended Journaled. We'll erase. Yes. And that's done. So we're going to close out of that. Hit continue. Agree. We're totally running this on Apple hardware, Apple. No worries here. And let's click customize here. So it doesn't add anything. Again, this is like an unmodified copy of Snow Leopard. The only thing it changed was the bootloader to allow this system to boot off of it. But, you know, we could get QuickTime 7 if we want to. I'm not going to really run PowerPC stuff on here, so I'll just skip Rosetta, if that would even work on here. And we'll click on install. And it looks like it's going to take just over 30 minutes, so let's hope for the best. Oh my gosh, everybody, here we are. We actually booted off of the hard drive and our mouse works, and I didn't get to catch the intro video because I had stepped away while it was finishing the installation process, and then obviously restarted and booted up. But yeah, this is just great. Like, it feels so... It just is, again, it's such a great feeling, you know, after going through all this troubleshooting. And yes, I should have done this first, okay? I do realize that now. But I kind of wanted to explore IATK OS, you know, and kind of mix it up a little bit by using that instead of just a regular CD. Whatever. I'm much... I'm much happier going this route, considering that, you know, it actually worked. And we are going to have to go through and change the resolution. That's the first thing I want to do, because you can see it is it's still in that pretty low resolution. But let's just put in my name here. We'll just do MJD for, actually we'll do Michael for the account name and MJD for the password. I keep saying, whenever I type out this password in these videos, I keep saying we'll use our super simple secure password. A lot of people think it's 123. I actually always do MJD. I wonder if you can put the password hint as the password. Nah, you can't. Okay. Well, then we'll say not 123. But yeah, that's the password I always use for these videos. So don't steal my bank login now, okay? Because I totally use this for my actual bank. We'll just stay in Pacific time zone, and yeah, we're totally going to register this totally real Apple computer. And there we are. Look at that. So this was relatively painless. I'm honestly surprised that there aren't any graphics issues or, you know, just other driver related issues. We were able, I mean, it's got the display driver, a display driver that works loaded. It's able to detect USB devices. Sound, though, let's see if sound works, because again, I wasn't able to catch the intro video. So let's, oh yeah, it works. There you go. So we got sound. Let's see if the volume keys on, yes, they work too. Look at that. That's awesome. Mute works. Let's see if brightness works. Okay. But yeah, I mean, a good amount of the function keys up here work, which is awesome. That's just really, really great. So let's go to about here and see what it's recognizing this as. So 1.6 gigahertz unknown, 1 gigabyte of memory. And this is just standard 10.6 without any of the additional dot updates applied on top of it. So let's hop into system preferences and go to display. You know, this might actually be the maximum resolution. So I just confirmed that this is actually the maximum resolution that this laptop supports. So, you know, that's why we're not getting any higher resolution options here. It still looks fine. I mean, yeah, a few of the windows, like, you know, when we opened up system preferences originally, it definitely goes off of the screen here. But then when you go into like dock and then you go back, it does readjust it to, you know, have the scroll bar here. So that's honestly kind of unfortunate. You have to do that every single time, like if you want to get to these bottom options, because I don't think you can just resize the window, at least from the top here. You can't do that, so you would have to click on an option and then head back, and then it has the scroll bar here. So there you go. Although let's change the dock, because I think in this case it would make sense to have the dock hidden. And we're definitely going to change the size of it a little bit and turn on magnification. And yeah, that supports it pretty well. No lag or anything. So that's awesome. Oh, it looks like, oh, whoa, look what happened to the window up here. It kind of lost its, it lost its window over there. They're back when we moused over there. Let's head back. Alright, so yeah, it kind of just lost its theming for a minute here. But let's get out of that and open it back up, maybe. And there we go. So, oh yeah, there. Now that's actually much better. Now that we don't have the dock, we can see the entire window on screen. We just have to move it up a little bit. So yeah, let's see if it still changes to the scroll bars, though. I'm kind of curious. It does not. Okay, so yeah, hiding the dock definitely helped there. I'm going to lower the magnification a little bit. It is... a little bit too large for my light. I think that's more reasonable. So let's just browse around here. First thing we can do is eject the install USB. So I'll do that. And now we can pop that out of the laptop. And let's open up Finder here and maybe, let's see, let's go into applications and maybe try to run some stuff in here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Netbook installer drops itself in the applications folder. So we have that on here. Oh, so there are some additional options. Look at this. So it's got the, the only hard drive in here selected. We have this checkbox here to install Dell Mini 10V extensions. Okay, so that definitely sounds like something we're going to want. And we've got some more options here. A lot of this is like toggles to where you could come back in here and re-disable it if you enable one of these things. So you can toggle remote CD, so that's currently disabled. Sure, we'll do that. And let's fix Bluetooth, because apparently Bluetooth does not work out of the box. So let's hit install, and we'll type in our, again, that super secure password. All right, so I went ahead and timed the boot process there. It took 1 minute and 10 seconds from when the Dell logo appeared at the beginning of the boot up process to getting here. So that'll give you an idea of, how long that this will take. And again, these are the system requirements that we're running with. And just to compare, my MacBook Pro 13-inch mid-2009, which was released, the same year that this came out. Of course, it cost a lot more. It had a 2.26 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo processor and 2 gigabytes of memory. So we're here with a 1.6 gigahertz unknown, but it's an Intel Atom, and only 1 gigabyte of memory. I would imagine definitely adding an SSD to this thing would vastly improve the startup times and just overall performance, because we just have a regular hard drive in here. Yeah, I mean, there you have it, guys. That is macOS 10.6 Snow Leopard installed and working on the Nickelodeon netbook with the additional patches applied from Netbook installer here. Definitely, I mean, hey, I'm glad that we got it working in the end. The boot times are not as bad as I thought. I was kind of thinking, especially with that Hackintosh distro that we tried to install in here, with how long it was taking to boot up every time, I thought, oh, this is going to be a while. But no, I mean, 1 minute and 10 seconds, not really that bad. Windows XP definitely starts up faster on this thing, but I mean, it's Windows XP, this is macOS 10 Snow Leopard, so I mean, what are you going to expect, right? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, all that good stuff. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.